Imagine that you are the person who was carrying that large window pane that now lies in shattered shards around your feet. You look at the pieces in dismay because you realize that you can no longer put these pieces back to their former smooth, translucent self. But suddenly, a smile lightens your face. You smile because you see forms of mosaic art that these pieces of glass can form. You see that because now you're looking at the spaces between the pieces of glass. I'm Dr. Frank Douglas, the CEO and founder of Safe Haven Dialogues. I'm also the host of the Reframe for Resilience podcast. In this podcast, we engage guests and discuss situations where they use different approaches to solve problems. In short, where they reframe the problem. And we also try to understand how those approaches helped with resilience. Well, welcome to today's Reframing for Resilience. Our guest is Mr. D. Carl Brown, who is Director of Human Resources at Total Life Changes. He has a passion for serving people and solving problems. So we are going to explore with him today aspects of reframing and how that contributes to resilience. So, Mr. Brown, welcome. And to get started, tell us a little bit about yourself and particularly about your journey that has brought you to this point in your career and life.
Sure. First, thank you for the privilege and the honor. My name is Carl Brown. This is my 15th year in human resources. I started out um, struggling, human resources coordinator. I have a 10-year of management behind my human resources development education. And my first couple years, I'll never forget lamenting switching out because it was all paperwork, and I was missing the people work, the problem solving, the employee relations, which is my favorite piece underneath the human resources banner. And so for about 6 or 7 years, the door didn't open and for me to become a human resources manager. And finally, once that happened, I was able to get a good, healthy balance of paperwork and people work. And People work is my absolute favorite. So this is now my 15th year. I've been really, really enjoying my role in my current company. It's the best company I've ever worked for, actually. Tremendous, amazing culture. We have 7 core values that really guide us and give us a distinction in the marketing level, multi-marketing level space that we're in. We sell nutraceuticals, detox teas, and liquid vitamins, and all types of things that make people get healthy. And so our distributors are called life changers. And so between either a health change or an income change, we have 8 global offices around the world, and I finally get to help more people than I have ever done in my life. And so that's what puts a smile on my face, really. I joke with my wife, she's an occupational therapist, that human resources is really, God bless our policemen, God bless our servicemen, God bless our uh, ambulance workers, but I tell her human resources professionals are the first responders in the business realm. With the myriad of divergent problems that could arise, usually we're the ones that stand ready to go into fires. And that's my approach. That's how I look at it. And I say, unfortunately, I love doing it. I love doing it. And I told my wife just the other week I could do this until I'm 90 years old. So I got another 40 years.
Tell me, right now, with the new administration, lots of changes, some anxiety, don't know, what you're experiencing in your company. But as a first responder, uh,
Mhm.
what are the types of things uh, that challenge you?
The anxiety and the panic, not so much from me, but from the people that I'm serving. And I don't call what I do work. Uh, I think work, when you do work, you kind of get wages that benefit yourself. But the difference between work and service to me is the benefits when you're serving go to the people you're serving. So let me get back to what I was originally saying. So diversity, equity, and inclusion has been in the news lately. And to get ahead of that, to get ahead of the anxiety that I knew my employees would have, because when we grew that way, we probably got around 60% Latino Americans working in our building. And so seeing the panic around the world, getting the text from my colleagues, hey, this hit that DEI is taking, how are you guys responding? And I'm blessed and fortunate to tell my colleagues that we never had an issue with it. We never had an issue with it because our founders and our leaders believe in diversity. And it's not something, this is how I got ahead of it. After I got the calls from my colleagues, I felt maybe I should say something. And I did. I put a video in our intranet. And I reminded our employees how we started. Our company, we did $500 million in sales during COVID. Um, and we've only seen increase year after year. It started in 1999. And so I reminded our company that we started in our founder's basement. And our founder took the buyout from Ford. He started the company in his basement. And once we started getting calls from Latin America, we went to a local mall here, and his mother-in-law heard a young lady with a Hispanic accent, Spanish accent, and invited her into the basement to answer calls that our founder couldn't hear. And so, because of her yes to take those calls, we expanded to, at one time, 16 global offices. And so I reminded our company of where we started. We started including people. We started making sure that when you did a service for us, that you were justly compensated. If you look at our uh, wall of fame with all of our top earners in our company, you'll see our target market, which is uh, 30 to 40-year-old African American women and 30 to 40-year-old uh, uh, Hispanic American women. And so our wall is diverse. If you look at our website, um, you'll see that our leadership is diverse. We're not the prototypical, you know, 60, 70, 80-year-old leaders at the top of the company, Caucasian American, where that's not us. Like, so we've never had the problem. And I was blessed. And I even shared this with our founder and my leader, the COO. I was blessed to share with all of my colleagues. There's no real panic for us. Number one, because I got ahead of it and I reminded our employees how we started and how we were able to go from a little company in the basement to a global company. That came by welcoming everyone as best we could. And the best we could do that, the best way we could do that was our fourth core value: we love each other, period. Another one is we don't just do what's easy, we do what's right. Now, I'll be honest with you. I started this company in July of 2021. By December of 2021, even though it was the best company that I ever worked for, um, I had three offers to leave the company. And everybody I was interviewing with, I was telling them that I'd be leaving the best company that I ever worked for. Now, the problem was the sitting director at the time wasn't really congruent with some of with the founders and the leaders. And what ended up happening was according to our core value, we don't just do what's easy, we do what's right. My boss saw me as a better fit, and he ended up telling me that he would beat the offer that I had to leave to stay, and that I would replace the sitting director who had been there a year and a half. So that could not have been easy, but I was a right fit. It was I'm the better fit for the role, but that couldn't have been easy. And so, one thing I really love about working here is that we don't just have core values. That was just about 4 or 5 of them. We don't just have core values on our website. We don't just have them sprinkled across our building. They stem from the leaders' hearts. That's why we've never had to struggle with diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging.
What are the types of approaches you use to get individuals who are very anxious
Mhm.
to look at the problem a different way, to find perhaps a different solution?
Yeah. I'll take the long way around this. The reason why I love human resources is it offers me the ability to do everything on a professional level that I'm doing on a personal level. So I have 4 sons, um, 29, 26, 18, and 13. And there's been many times where I'll have an employee that will come for counseling or some guidance, and I will tell them, I'm gonna give you the same advice that I would give you to my own son. Um, uh, Breaking down the walls allows people, and transparency allows people to be comfortable with you. Again, I didn't want it was a drastic shift when I took over as director because I don't think human resources should be the principal's office. The only time you see human resources is, if you're in trouble or if you're losing your job. I have an open door policy, and the employee base at our HQ knows that if they ever sit on my couch, they're going to get the best advice. They're going to get an atmosphere of understanding, an atmosphere of consideration. You can't work in a diverse population without being sensitive to other people's cultures. I Asked me where I learned that. I learned that at home. My wife was born in India. I was born here in the United States. Um, uh, I say all the time, and listen, we're polar opposites. Uh, but with that, I say all the time, a house divided can't stand, but it can lean a long time. We can find a way to coexist. We can find a way to live together. Now, it's going to take a lot of listening, a lot of consideration, and a lot of respect. I'm actually writing a book on that.
Mr. Brown, thank you very much. And I like that closing message, namely love, love in community,
Yes,
and
sir.
that being an important part of building resilience. Thank you very much for taking the time and sharing both your life and work experience, which clearly are in harmony with each other. And my my success to you, and congratulations to you and your family, and all the best to your wife and your second son, who is now starting his own journey.